Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Susan McVeigh of SusanMcVeigh.com, and I am a business sales strategist helping female entrepreneurs close more sales with more ease and lessly so that you can make the money and the impact that you deserve. So today I am back in talking about why you are struggling to make the sales that you actually want. And really, it's going to come down to three fairly simple, straightforward things, but I know that it's not as simple as it might seem when you actually take this into practice in your business. So what I find so often with my clients is there's a few things that might be going on if you are struggling to sell. So this can be whether you're selling products or services or high-end, high-ticket programs. Hello, Linda. Thanks for joining me. So if you are struggling to make sales, let me know in the comments below how I might be able to help you. If you're on here live, please feel free to say hello. If you're on the replay, go ahead and tag me and I might have some extra help and resources for you. So number one, I have my notes here so I can stay on track. Number one, when you're struggling with sales, is that you are actually not talking to the right people. So you're not clear on the people that you are meant to be helping and serving. And ultimately that comes down to a problem of, number two, you do not know what problem that you solve. And so often, and I ask this over in my community, what is the problem that you solve? And I'll be honest, there were only a couple of answers that were crystal clear. Like, what was the problem? So if you explain this to somebody else, they need to be able to say, oh, I know somebody who has that problem, or they need to have a very clear idea of when they encounter somebody that has that exact thing that they're struggling with, that you can help, that light bulbs start to go off. So if it is not clear because you're not explaining it in a way that is simple and concise, and this is where a lot of times we try to be clever. We're overthinking things. We're being too smart. And I know that you are smart and I know that you have the expertise. But here's the thing. When we are trying to be clear with individuals, it is better to be simple and straightforward because confusion creates inaction. And confused minds, they don't buy. They don't do anything. They just sit there. And most of the time, they're going to start going la la la, and they won't even listen to you anymore because it'll feel like you're actually not talking to them. So you don't want to shut people off. You want to be very clear, to the point, and you don't want to be clever at the expense of being clear. So be sure that you know exactly what problem it is that you solve. And if you know, you can go ahead and drop it in the comments because there may be somebody here on this page that is visiting that has the problem that you can solve. So if you can word it in a way that people understand and in a way that is very simple and basic, and it doesn't take a dictionary, a thesaurus, an interpreter, or translation in order to figure out what it is that you're trying to say, then you're on the right track. If you're overdoing it, I want you to go back to the drawing board and think, if I was to explain this to an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, at the very most, would they get it? Am I using basic enough language that if I were to explain what the problem is and what I do for them, that they would be able to understand and get it, okay? Doesn't mean that that's your client, but it means that that's how simple you need to make things. Hi, Brittany, thanks for joining. So number two, so that was number one. Number two was you're not clear on the problem that you solve. And number two, that you're talking to the wrong person. And again, those two are linked because if you don't know what problem you solve, you can't find the person that has that problem. And that means you're talking to the wrong audience. So this applies for those of you that have big followers, like big lists, big audiences, you have lots of connections, maybe you're meeting tons of people, you're going to networking events, and yet, goose egg. Like it's not translating into sales for your business. I want you to really think about, are you positioning yourself and putting yourself in the place where your people are going to be? Where the people who have your problem, that's where they are. And if you're talking to the wrong people, you need to find your people that have the problem that you solve. Okay, that was number one and two. Number three is you have the wrong offer. So you're providing the wrong product or service for the people that you're talking to. So if you are convinced that the people that you're talking to, A, have the problem, and B, they are the right people that you can actually help solve that problem with, then your offer, the thing that you're selling, needs to solve the problem, and they need to know and understand that, and ultimately believe that what it is that you're offering can actually fix the problem. So it's great if your offer is something that can help them, but if ultimately their BS radar starts to go off, right? Like it's like beeping, 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 and they have no idea why. They just have this nagging feeling that it's too good to be true, that it can't possibly work for them, then you're talking to them up here. And you're missing the mark in terms of A, you have the right audience, and B, you have the right problem, but then your offer, the way that you're positioning it, the way that you're explaining it, the way that you're connecting the dots for your people, they're not connecting the dots. And so your offer is wrong. And this doesn't mean that what you're providing to them is the wrong solution, because if you do solve the problem, obviously it is the right solution, but the way that you're explaining it is coming across incorrectly. And so people don't understand what it is that you can do and how you can help them. So it can come down to the wrong language. It can come down to being too logical and not having enough emotion tied into your pain points and the vision and the dream and the transformation that you're creating for people. And yes, even for products, this still applies for you, because let's face it, ladies, who's with me, we don't buy like our second or third or fourth or like 10th pair of shoes because we need to protect our feet, right? Like that's the logical part that we use. Oh, I need another pair of boots because my other ones, they might not work when it's raining really hard. But ultimately, the reason why we buy those products is because they make us feel a certain way. And if you don't address that with your marketing, with your messaging, with the way that you're connecting to your audience and to ultimately your buyers, then they will never buy from you. And that could be why you're struggling. So if you know that your offer is the right offer, you are in front of the right people, and that you are solving the problem, then I want you to really think about how you're communicating that offer to people. And if you've gone back and been honest with yourself and said, you know what, this is what I really want to sell, like it's something I'm passionate about, but it actually doesn't solve a problem. Like it's a problem that nobody knows that they have. Well, guess what? It's not going to sell, and that's probably why you're struggling. So I want you to think about where people are in their journey, what the problem is, and then whether or not they're at that point where your solution can actually help fix the problem, and if they're willing to pay for it. Some people are not. And so you have to figure that out for yourself in your business. This is definitely something that I help my clients with, but this is something where I so often feel that there's holes missing in your business plan. And the number one thing that you can do that will fix this is to talk to a real life person. Talk to somebody in your audience. Talk to somebody who has expressed interest. Talk to somebody who is an individual that you think would be a perfect fit because you think they have the problem that you solve. Until you actually speak to a real life person, not reading books, not doing the reviews, not reading posts, not, scanning through social media news feeds and hearing what people are saying, because until you talk to somebody and you hear what's in their heart, not what they're just typing out logically, you will not be able to get to the nut and bolts of this. And that one call could ultimately fix everything for you. So isn't it worth it? I definitely feel like it is. And I feel like every time that I've done this for my own self, for my own business, and encouraged my clients and students to do this as well, you're going to learn something that's going to help you to improve your process and continue to move you forward. And so if you do not know what your messaging is, if you do not know how to speak to somebody so that you can close the sale, and that you at the end of the day, you can't set up any systems or processes that will enable you to do things faster, simpler, and better through automations, through technology, through systems that will help leverage your time and allow you to start to expand and grow. So If you want more information, feel free to hop over to my website, www.susanmcveigh.com/free for my freebie, my free gift to you. And if you have any questions on this, feel free to tag me below. I'm happy to hop back in and answer them for you. So I hope this was helpful for someone out there in order to help you to overcome your struggle of sales, thinking about those 3 things that I had mentioned. Get clear on the problem, get clear on the people, and then get clear on your offer and how you're positioning that to the people and the problem. Okay? Thank you so much, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.